Bitcoin just reclaimed 65,000. Today we'll explore a broad market update of the Bitcoin market space and other related financial markets. This is Drama-Free Bitcoin, a calm, relaxed take on the Bitcoin markets. So today, first, let's take a look at Bitcoin. We're bouncing around in this range here, right? We do have a bit of a reverse head and shoulders pattern. We do have various flags forming in here, but ultimately we're just trading in a range. And we've been bouncing off the bottom of the range here around 58K, top of the range around 67K. I did a video about a week ago saying I thought we would get to 67 and come back down, and that's kind of what happened. Now it looks like we want to test the top part of this range again, and I do think we'll do that. I think we may actually even break through this time and potentially get up to somewhere around the 71K range, and there's even a tiny chance we get up to this 81K. I think markets like to get people on the wrong side and then reverse. So there just hasn't been a lot of excitement in any of these rallies. Let's take a look at how big these are. So like from, let's call it from here to here, that's a pretty good rally of 38 from the bottom. But realistically, if we look at from other places, say from here to there, about 27%. So not too bad, but we're talking about huge amounts of time here. So just lots of sideways movements, finally get a rally, get a big sell-off, lots of sideways movement again. So at this point, a lot of people are saying, hey, the bear market's over, but we're kind of looking at a 1-year time band for when that should happen, and we're a little bit early for that. So I think right now is the time that's going to get people caught on the wrong side. And in order to get people really buying into this narrative that the new bull market is here, we need a big bounce. We need a bounce like this, right? This is nothing. This is nothing compared to that. So if we do get one of these big bounces, that's when people are going to say, oh, the new bull market's here. We're going to all-time highs. And a lot of people will get caught flat-footed if we get this high. If we get around here, I'm not sure if that many people are going to buy in and feel like they're missing the boat. There's also a chance that we just roll over here at the top of this range and retest this bottom again at 58. So my personal thesis is, if we zoom out to the weekly chart here, we have this range here. I think we might wick down to like something like this, basically somewhere in the 50 to 58K region. I don't know, wick, very much like we saw right here. And I think we'll see some prices for a few days around these prices too. So 54, 55K. So really, I'm looking at buying in this range. Not financial advice. Do your own research and make your own choices. But I don't think we're going to get these 40K prices or 35, 34K prices. I don't think we're getting those. We might, but we'll see. If we do get them, they'll come really fast and furious. Huge sell-off, I think, over the next 2 months, probably late September through the first week of November. A lot of people are looking at October, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get something in November or we get something in September, maybe a new low and then a higher low after that. These are all just speculations. It seems like we've had a very muted market compared to previous sell-offs. If we look at the monthly chart here, I like looking at these Bollinger Bands because right here we see this is the low end of that, which is 51.2K. We like to hit these Bollinger Bands. Occasionally we break out of them, but I have a feeling we might just get down to this range right here, and that's it. The work's been done. We've put in the time here, and now it's just a matter of dollar cost averaging through the summer if you want in, and then you got your 3-year ride. The other thing you can do is wait for some major moving averages to cross and buy in with some certainty, but you'll miss the bottom of the bear market then. But I definitely think we're going higher in Bitcoin long term next year. And right now it's just a matter of buying when it's considered very cheap historically, especially under that 200-week moving average. and then a chance to get in. So let's take a look at some other parts of the market. So we'll look at STRC, Stretch. So Stretch is making a really good bounce here. Last week, MicroStrategy had their investor call, and they basically said that they're not raising interest rates like they said they would in the past. I think a lot of people were just trying to hope they just keep raising interest rates to the moon, but they kept it at 12%. And I thought that was very mature of them to say, hey, we tried raising it. It didn't get as big of a bounce as we wanted. We're going to try to create demand, and we're going to try to buy back our own shares, which I think they should have been doing already to defend the downside. But our effective yields come way down below 13%. Their competitor SATA is at 13%, but Strategy's Bitcoin balance sheet is massive compared to SATA, and I think it justifies a premium over them. This is getting very close to that 12%. Michael Saylor said that he is committed to get this back to 100, and it shows. If we take a look at some of the volumes, we had 1.35 million, 1.8 million shares, 1.82 million, 2 million, 1.7. And then in here we have some lower days, right? 900, 900, 1 million, 900. So I think we're seeing some of this is Strategy buying back their shares, and they're doing it slowly, and they're trying to invite the market to join them, right? They're like, we got your back on this thing, and we want you to participate in this. So a lot of people are starting to get some confidence and starting to front run Strategy and get that extra 5%, 10% in capital gains because they know that this is their flagship product. They're committed to this. This was all just liquidity driven panic and sell off. So there's nothing structurally wrong with the product, but most retirees or fire people cannot handle 28.5% volatility over a few weeks in something that's supposed to be like this, stay around 100. So anyways, I think I was wrong. I thought they would raise the interest rate to 12.5%, but instead they're doing buybacks, which is the other thing. I actually wrote an email to them saying, hey, you should buy back your stock. Why aren't you doing this? It's like a steal down here. So anyways, Stretch is coming back, and we're hoping to get back to 100. A lot of people are going to be selling up here in $99, $100 range. So I wouldn't be surprised if we at some point start just seeing sideways movement before we quite get to 100. That's people rotating out that got scared, and they're like, chance to get out of this. Too much excitement and drama for me. I'm going to get out, and maybe they'll get back in later after a year or two when this thing's more stable. So we'll see on that. Let's take a look at some of the other markets. We'll jump over to the S&P all-time highs. Let's go zoom out to the weekly. So, all-time highs. Money printing to the moon. They're never going to stop printing money. All that money flowing through. Eventually, I think we'll have a correction down to probably around here at some point in the next couple of months. We'll see. They'll probably be triggered by some news or something else. But let's take a look at the QQQs. Same thing. Huge amounts. We have this blow off top here, pull back. Now we're probably resuming ups. We might get, I think there's a gap in the chart down here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we close that gap at some point. 593. So over the next few months, this would be a good entry point. Probably have a pullback to there. Let's take a look at what that is. Top to our gap here. It's about a 20% pullback. So yeah, I think that is what we're looking at. That's a good entry point. Let's take a look at gold. So gold came down to this region here around 4,000. Now we're starting to bounce back up a decent amount from there. So I think there's a chance we get down here again, but we might also just go off. So we've had our big pullback after this big run. It's good to see things cool off. Down here we see we were way overbought a lot, and then we got down, reset the RSI a little bit, and now time to take off again here soon. Silver, same thing. This 50 is an important, going back years, right? This range right here. I think we retest that at some point. So 47, 48 This move was just ridiculous. We'll get back down and retest that at some point. I think gold will come a little bit lower too, the equivalent amount. And then I think we're off in another bull market. With all the inflation and all the money printing, this has to go up, I think. And let's take a look at bonds real quick. TLT proxy going down. We look at the US dollar, testing some ranges. This will have a big effect, I think, on where this goes, on whether markets stay stable or not. Take a look at the VIX volatility index. A lot of high volatility events recently. Don't like those here at Drama Free Bitcoin, but things have settled down a little bit right now. So yeah, that's mostly it. Go back to Bitcoin real quick. So yeah, let's keep our eyes out for Bitcoin to hit a new local high and then come down and retest this range. This is where accumulation zone is. Don't worry that you're going to miss the boat and miss your opportunity if it gets up here. This is just what happens, right? We'll see one last sell-off, I'm almost positive, and go from there. Thank you for joining me today. I got a couple referral links in the description below. River is a really great place to get a bonus for buying and selling Bitcoin. Also, the Gemini credit card is really fantastic. It's got a 4% off on gas. In this day and age, with prices so high, who can't use 4% off on gas? 3% off on restaurants and 2% off on groceries. So really all the stuff that people like to buy, get big discounts on those things. Plus you get a sign up bonus and all of your rewards instantly can be bought into Bitcoin. And so it's definitely worth checking that out. All right. Thanks for joining me today and stay calm out there.